Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today I took a shower. My hair's not greasy. Sometimes to take a shower, it takes a long time to let my hair air dry. I don't see anybody comments again as someone saying that the haircut looks bad. Hair's wet, not greasy. You want to smell it, Nick, and see how it smells? And then go ahead and go back and then give your review.
10 out of 10. Smells like wet dog hair.
I don't know. It should smell like Dove.
As a child, I went on a date with a girl when her dad was there. This is 6th grade. I don't think he liked me, but he sprayed me with a water hose.
Frankenstein, for example, is to me an expression of all of our society.
He got all my hair wet. I told him not to. It makes my...
Today we're going to talk about bug chasing. And no, not regular bugs, because when it comes to the world of sexual fetishes, yep, we're going there. There is no limit to what absurd things people can find themselves aroused by. And in most cases, there's no reason to judge people for what gets them excited in the bedroom, right? Behind closed doors, Nick, anything's fine. After all, nobody wants to kink shame, right? But what about a fetish that revolves around testing the boundaries of physical health? Disclaimer for this video. Disclaimer. Don't want people getting mad. 1, video's gonna be gross. 2, bug chasing is a very hotly debated topic and has been for quite some time. It's believed by many to be overblown and inaccurately reported on during a time where concept was more novel and shocking, okay? So keep that in mind, that our goal is just to talk about what it is and what other people are saying online and in the news, right? I have no opinion. I am a shell of myself.
Or you do have an opinion.
I have no opinion. I am a shell of myself.
Or you do have an opinion.
I thought that this was just kind of interesting that people, pretty much for a few people, just when you want to click off the video, let me just summarize it here. People like to go to parties, like to cough each other's faces, and they catch their diseases.
Everybody cough in my face. Do it.
Okay, big game hunting, and they get hard, and they sometimes chum. So if that's a video that you're interested in, plop on down and hang out for a bit, or if you just said, you know what, I'm good, more power to you. Bug chasing is one of the stranger out there, one that many people are becoming more aware of after a viral story posted to TikTok by someone named Belisa Bell. In her TikTok, she goes on a frustrated rant about her father.
My dad purposefully got HIV because he's a self-proclaimed bug chaser and he thinks that it's hot.
He self-described himself as a bug chaser, choosing to live this life because he thinks it's hot. Huh? According to her, this was something he had slowly been planning ever since she was a kid.
When we were children, he started to buy books about AIDS and the AIDS epidemic. He would read them and then he would come up to our family and my other siblings and tell us about how amazing it was to be able to take care of victims of the AIDS epidemic and how wouldn't it be such a good cause? And how he just feels so bad for all of those victims and how they just want someone to take care of them.
How do you throw that into the conversation?
Yeah, it's a little gross.
I mean, at Thanksgiving? I'm not thankful. I bet that's how you start off. I'm not thankful. I don't have AIDS. Nothing to be thankful for. And can you pass the gravy?
About 2 years ago, my family received a call about how my dad was extremely sick. He had rashes on his body. He couldn't sleep, night sweats, all of these horrible things. He genuinely seemed like he was going to die. He goes to the hospital a couple of days later, and then we get a call. He had developed 3 STDs, one of them being HIV.
How do you get AIDS?
It has to come from someone with HIV. Sexual contact, blood transfer.
So there's no way I could just be
No,
in a produce section looking at a pomegranate.
No, you just can't get hit by like AIDS ray or something.
There's gotta be an AIDS ray now.
This video is sponsored by Fume, the leaders in flavored air. Breaking bad habits can be hard. Let Fume help you with that. Fume is not a vape, it's not an e-cig, it's just flavored air, which means you can use Fume anywhere. With Fume, there's no vapor, no nicotine, and never any toxic chemicals. And on top of that, Fume is an award-winning device that puts you on the path towards being free from bad habits. I love Fume's crisp mint flavor the most, and also how compact the device is. Oh. Fume is also there for whenever you feel anxious. Keep Fume by your side and find your calm with the satisfying clicks and snaps of the device whenever and wherever you need to be. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit change journey. If you're ready to try for yourself, now's the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code PAPAMEAT, you'll get free Fume topper and an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Click the link at tryfume.com/PAPAMEAT or scan the QR code on the screen to get yours today. Thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video, and back to the video.
But it got so bad that at one point he was fully convinced it was going to kill him. He discovered he had HIV as well as 3 other STDs. To do this, bug chasers will have unprotected, or as we all say in the cool community, bareback sex with other men hoping to spread the disease. Damn, dude. So he wasn't even gay. He was just like, I want you to give it to me. It's kind of dedication. What about sex is it that gives you HIV?
Tearing like the inside of your hole. You're tearing skin, from what I heard. Can we do fact check?
I want to put the fact check, and while I talk, I want my voice to slow lower in the mix so I can talk about this. Does it have anything to do with poop? No. So it's not about fissure tearing and then the poop gets in there. He better really have lowered the volume for that. While the fact check is up, or else I'm gonna be pissed.
Not only did he try to groom me to be his partner and his toy, but he also wanted us, his family, to take care of him when he purposefully self-destructed.
Do you think that's like a victim complex?
Yeah, it's a victim it's kind of like Gypsy Rose's mom. It's like Munchausen's by proxy or whatever. But it's just isn't it just regular Munchausen syndrome? I thought Munchausen syndrome is when she's like, I'm sick and I'm a victim. Help me, help me. After the story had gone viral, her family was furious at her for talking about it publicly, and Blizzard was kicked out of the home, and she began resorting to TikTok crowdfunding to afford moving out. This eventually worked out, and she has been updating people about the process as it develops. Can you get rid of AIDS or HIV? What exactly is the difference? Because this is actually an interesting thing people don't know. What is the difference between HIV and AIDS?
AIDS is a advanced stage of HIV. AIDS stands for autoimmune disease. So,
what does HIV stand for?
Human something virus.
Fact check again. And if there's something with poop there, then we can put the edit back in. But I'm almost positive it has nothing to do with poop.
It's blood, semen.
You're telling me that blood and semen, but there's no poop. The fact check has still got to be up during this part. Voice lowered. Bug chasing has been around for quite some time. In fact, many claim that it's been a thing since the AIDS epidemic of the early 80s. As medication began lowering the death rate of virus, gay men slowly began having unsafe sex once again, no longer being afraid of catching it. Even back in 1997, it was known that a tiny community of bug chasers existed. There was fear that if their numbers were to grow, it could roll back the last decade's worth of work. Medical advances, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
I don't... Fact check. I don't even feel comfortable publicly saying that. I have no. Cite your sources.
I was gonna say that sounds cartoonishly evil. To
That
paint the gay
sounds.
people.
That sounds like an offensive. It feels like someone pulled that from like an anti-gay pamphlet or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they were so evil and so horny that they said, "Why are we doing? Let's just give each other AIDS." There's no way. We have got to fact check. That's our new swig break is fact check. Fact check. There have been many publications that have greatly exaggerated the prevalence of the bug chasing community to make a more enticing article. The way it's been sensationalized has made it incredibly hard to determine the truth about this strange fringe group. So even though it is real, I think some people, maybe even ourselves with the amount of fact checking we have to do, are making it seem maybe much worse than it is. Even though we did start this video on a man bug chasing HIV. Even if someone's like, I have the flu, can you cough in my face? Why? No, there is, but I'm just saying, it doesn't have to just be HIV. Even so, like, can you imagine someone being like, you got chicken pox? But a supposed groundbreaking report by the Rolling Stones included an interview with Dr. Bob Cabage, the director of behavior health services in San Francisco. He was quoted saying that 25% of newly infected gay men are seeking HIV, consciously or not. Fact check! Fact check!
That's no way!
There is no way! What are we doing? Who wrote this one?
Yeah.
Oh, just both of them? Yeah. We have got to fucking get some HR stuff going on. What's your opinion on gay marriage? It's fine. In a Newsweek article, however, he ranted about how he never actually said that. All right, redacts the anti-homophobe. Okay. And even told their fact checker this was completely false before its release. I don't care.
So they just
Make it 38%. Whatever. Say he hates gay people. Like, I never said that on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Other outlets like Vice insist that bug chasers engage in sex roulette parties, which are events in which one person is secretly infected with HIV, and everyone avoids the use of condoms during sex, giving people the thrill of not knowing whether or not they have it. Many of the peoples referenced in these articles seem certain of their existence, but cannot seem to point to a specific group event they've seen with their actual eyes. You know what? It's too much HIV stuff.
I was gonna say,
Because every time I've ever heard bug chasers before, because I've heard it before, this HIV viral post, but it was always like people being like, you have strep throat, or like you have it's basically like minor thing. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being like, I need to go get HIV. Not saying there isn't, because I bet you there is someone out there who's like, let me toe the line.
I would say it's general STDs. They want to get like gonorrhea or like
Yeah.
something that's kind of curable, where it's just like roulette of like, I'm gonna get sick, and then you find out if you got sick or not.
It's like an adrenaline rush. It's like an adrenaline junkie. Can you imagine someone the same way that someone like buys like a necklace and they're like, oh, I've always wanted this chain. Could you imagine that with like genital warts? I've always wondered what my balls or pussy would look like with all these like little beautiful pearls hanging off my skin.
I want to interview a bug chaser who they regret doing it, where they're just like, I was stupid.
That has to be 90% of them, if not 99% of them, right? I think it's something where you just, you get the thrill. It's like, that's gotta be the craziest post-nut clarity. Sitting at home, blank around and throwing it in your mouth. Oh, jeez. Across all strange corners of the internet, you'll find people discussing these so-called bug chaser parties, while it's likely that they're being completely overblown. I think it'd be interesting to see what they claim goes on during these events. There are two types of gift giver parties. One involves an orgy that consists of just one HIV positive person. After the deed is done, the host reveals who the positive person was, letting the group know who was potentially infected.
See, I wouldn't want that. I don't want to know who's infected.
You don't? I like that, actually, at the end of the party. Everybody gather around. Who had fun tonight? It was a good time. We had a great time. And for everyone wondering, drum roll. It was Sarah. She's like, or actually, that's a big guy. It was David. David! I knew. I had to suspect. I should have went with my gut. Like a party, that casual at a party? Maybe it is.
So you know what'd be fun though? You go into those parties and looking around and being like, guessing who's got it. You know, there's gotta be one guy who's just like,
Everyone's all health. Everyone's all good, and then one guy has like super gaunt eyes and cheekbones. It's like Nosferatu sitting in the back. No, couldn't be him. Too obvious. The other variation of these parties involves one negative person having sex with multiple positive people. These parties can supposedly range anywhere from a few people all the way up to 30 people. And usually, the host provides some type of drugs or alcohol to guests to enhance the experience, right? Malibu rum and an oatmeal cream cookie? Within the community, it is said that there's a lot of terminology that gets thrown around during these events. But here's what we're seeing the most often. If someone is looking to get infected, they are called pause chasers. You know what, bleep it. I don't know what I said. Pause chasers. I don't know if I like that. Those looking to receive the disease look for HIV positive sperm, which is referred to as pause load, or poison seed. There are even pause pleasers who have HIV medication but identify as a bug chaser. Some members claim to take part in a ritual that involves them damaging their own to the point where they basically bleed. This way, when they have sex, there's a higher chance of spreading the disease. There is no way this video stays monetized. We have to bleep all of that. That's just. And I guess the only way that we can have it, like what I just said, was some people want they want their whole to have strawberry syrup. This can be done in a variety of ways, with some people putting fireworks on their ass to do maximum change. What do you mean your blew up? I stuck an M80 up there and let her rip. Some people make it easy for you to identify them as positive. If a positive person wants negative people to know he's open to infecting them, it's said that they'll get a biohazard symbol tattooed on their body. That's insane. Most of the time, it's placed somewhere visible on their arms or legs. Some opt to get it tattooed on the shaft of their penis as a direct warning to anyone they encounter. But let's take a step back and discuss why it is that people find themselves taking part in bug chasing. For many bug chasers, the idea of catching HIV and other STDs is simply an extreme online fantasy. Bug chasers existed for a long time. However, the internet has allowed the community to practice the fetish without actually contracting the disease, right? You do a nice little role play. Like it'd be a little preemie baby. You gotta do that, and you get to live a normal life after that. For some, bug chasing is similar to thrill seeking or adrenaline rushes. It's the idea that they're doing something taboo and potentially dangerous that gives them this rush. And online, a man spoke out about how his ex was a chaser and how his kink was going to holes without the use of a condom. He had HIV and got a thrill off knowing that he altered someone's life without them ever knowing it was him. That's not a good person.
That's a felony.
That's, I think, yeah. Yeah. Others who partake of the community view getting the disease as empowering. When they get HIV, it's like they have been freed from their fear of getting the disease. There just has to be fact checks, all sources, source links, to where if it's wrong, listen, go yell at them. We're just reading what we found. All right? I did not know this was going to be so heavy HIV. Is this a problem? I feel like this is a problem. I feel like it's going to get nuked into the ground.
By saying HIV?
Yeah. Yes.
We'll just put a disclaimer saying this is an educational video.
Even today, bug chasing still exists in small pockets of the world, mostly facilitated through online communities. While there have been incredible evolutions in AIDS medication and the way treatment is administered, some bug chasers considered it to be the equivalent of an adult using floaties. According to them, medication like pre-exposure prophylaxis takes the thrill of masculinity out of having sex. There are various dating sites used for explicit purposes of meeting people who have AIDS, HIV+, and other sexually transmitted diseases. Websites like positivesingles.com or Posmatch.com. There are events here and there that aim to reduce the shame people feel living with HIV. Some are strictly kind and wholesome, while others seem to have more degenerate intentions. In 2021, the gay star Tim Tyler tried to host the Pause Pride Fest with the goal of raising money for HIV groups and to celebrate people who may feel outcasted from society due to their disease. That's fair.
So is Pause a...
I don't know. It's really early in the morning to talk about this much HIV related stuff. I really thought I was going to be like, yeah, I'm sick. I have a boner. This sounds all well and good until you realize that part of the event would include the Chasers Jamboree, aka party including those with and without HIV. The website advertised the event stating chasers and gifters would identify themselves with colored hankies. And the Twitter page posted a poll asking those attending which category they fall under, with a grand majority being chasers. It turns out that Tim has been an open bug chaser who successfully contracted HIV, so the event appeared to be more of like a super spreader event designed for his own sexual fantasies rather than like an uplifting thing. Maybe it could be both, I'm not sure, but I don't know. A blogger contacted the resort hosting the event, explaining that the event was not at all about raising awareness for HIV. Supposedly, the owner sat in stunned silence for 2 straight minutes after realizing what was actually going on. They dropped the event soon after. Tim announced its cancellation. He then suspiciously reached out to people about continuing to donate to event's PayPal account that Tim manages himself in order to raise money for HIV nonprofits instead of just donating directly to the nonprofits. I think Tim might have been scamming a little bit.
Skimming off the top, it sounds like.
While most people would probably be a little more private about their chase fantasies, some people are willing to post public Craigslist listings in search of their dream gift givers. Other people seeking dating advice online have admitted that bug chasing has caused significant problems in their relationship and led to eventual breakups. After dating a man for 6 months, one user admits to finding out that his drag queen boyfriend had been secretly hooking up with Pause guys in the hopes of being infected. Damn. You want to lean me in on that? Okay, we're getting way too intimate way too fast. This This is private stuff. In the span of 2 months, he slept with 50 people. The user was told that he was doing it so he could get government benefits and to fit in better because many of his friends were HIV positive. I don't know if I believe that story, Nick. That's too crazy. Is it not? I mean, this all reads like a homophobic pamphlet. Yeah, the gay guys all get AIDS so they can get government benefits and they can all hang out with each other in their cool treehouse. The bug chasing community has a dark underbelly that many of its members struggle with. There are more serious implications for those that are driven to get the bug. A small section of the community gets HIV as a form of self-harm to cope with something more serious in their life. Mental illness is seen as a big component, with many people being preyed upon or agreeing to certain acts while not being in their right state of mind. Some research insists that this fetish is based in addiction. Certain fetishes are tied to bug chasing like BDSM, but one in particular is extremely damaging. Chemsex, also known as party and play, involves both parties injecting themselves with hard drugs while having sex. This behavior ties the act of bug chasing to getting high and creating a very addictive loop that is hard to break and even more dangerous. The addiction only worsens with each party or interactions as people slowly grow more desensitized to the idea of having HIV. There seemed to be a lack of proper knowledge of the disease for many people that partake in acts like this, and all of these elements leave many people broken and hopeless. One man claimed that he was seeking an HIV positive partner so he could get infected because it was his death wish. When questioned why he wanted to go out this way, he stated it was no different than someone addicted to drugs or energy drinks. You hear that, Red Bull? You got some explaining to do. They believe it's a way to control their fate, stating they would have died from cancer or a heart attack anyway, so I'm gonna die from HIV. Another man simply wanted to die from bug chasing because he didn't see any other way. They claim they have no skills or friends in life to keep them around. And the thought of getting AIDS is arousing, so they believe it's the best option, which is just sad because it's just total mental deterioration. Lack of self-confidence, lack of social skills, all come together for someone to just be like, what's the point? And that's heartbreaking. We've covered a lot of strange on this channel. A lot. Too much. Gotta reel it back a little bit. I think we might be done with this for a bit. I think it's safe to say that bug chasing is one of the stranger and more dangerous ones, if not the most dangerous one. I mean, I don't know. Unless it's just like I want someone to murder me or whatever, which I don't know. If you're watching this and you're part of our massive, overwhelmingly gay audience, be careful out there. You never know who's out there prepared to give a little gift. And those who participate in bug chasing, just make sure you're prepared to deal with the lifelong consequences that follow. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay safe out there, wear a mask, and wash your hands. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.